It's so great to have you back over here at Thuya Hill today. Today's going to be a slightly different video, as we will be pottering about the house, doing some homemaking. I'll be sharing with you a favorite recipe. We'll talk about a few quotes from a book I'm loving, and we're even going to stop at the local hardware store to see what they have in stock for spring planting. I wasn't planning on gardening this year, but I have a bit more energy, and it looks like things might just go in the direction of a slow-paced garden year. So first things first, I want to share this recipe with you that I'm making today. I have been loving these cuts of salmon from Aldi. They're from Norway, and they are delightful. First, I cover them in a bit of olive oil, maple syrup, or coconut sugar, a bit of soy sauce, salt, and pepper. And sometimes I'll put a lemon on top. In this case, I did. I bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes at 350. I flip them once during that time, and they turn out so delicious. We have just been enjoying them thoroughly. So if you need a good recipe for your family this spring, I most certainly recommend this no-fuss salmon recipe that you can bake in the oven. I think you'll really love it. Next, we spent a beautiful day in the garden one Saturday and found the first of this spring's daffodil blooms. It was such a joy to stumble upon them. Every day they're putting out new blooms, and so I can't help myself. And of course, I put together a small bouquet for the kitchen, and it's just brought me such joy ever since. Hi, friends. Coming at you from my car this morning. It's a lovely overcast Saturday morning in March, and I have a little bit left in my garden budget for the month, and I thought it would be nice to get a few butterfly bush and black-eyed Susans. We had a really cold winter. We had quite a big snowstorm and some really cold temperatures, and my rosemary pretty much seems to have bitten the dust, which is really sad. It's strange because in certain places in my garden, it's fine. And then in other patches, it's completely brown and crunchy and dead. I had to pull a bunch out last couple Saturdays ago. So I actually was not gonna garden this year. I had fully planned to close the garden up and just give it a rest. And my precious daughter said, "Mom, you can't do that." And I thought about it. Because I thought, well, I can do that, and resting is good, and that's something I'm definitely learning to appreciate. But she said, I want to help you. I really want to help you this year. So I gave her a lot of liberty to decide what we would plant. I kind of made her the planning director instead of me. And I figured it could be a cool learning experience for us. I mean, definitely loosening the reins a bit. I think as a gardener, it's really easy to just get to be overambitious. At least it has been for me, and then to be burnt out by end of July, early August. But I'm kind of going into gardening this year with a different mentality. I feel like the Lord is really teaching me the value of resting and not being a perfectionist, and really understanding what it means to garden in a fallen world. It will not be perfect. There will be weeds. There will be disease. We can do our best to take dominion and try to make things beautiful, but it won't be perfect. And I think I knew that. I knew that intellectually. I knew that. I've always known that. But I think really letting it get from my head to my heart was a whole nother thing, because, you know, I've just struggled with not wanting it to be perfect. So as I get older, as I garden more, and I realize what it's all about, you know, just I get such joy from being out there. I love being off of my computer. I really glean a lot from being outside. I prayed a lot. I feel like the Lord reminded me that it's something I could do as long as I have the right perspective. And so, yeah, I am gardening mildly this year. We just got a big load of free mulch, which is great, because free is always good for the gardener, right? And I've really turned over a new leaf this year on not trying to force things to grow that just don't want to grow here. I'm kind of done with that. I really decided that I want to cultivate things that want to be here. I mean, imagine that. I think that will make gardening a bit less stressful and a little easier in some ways. So hence the butterfly bushes, the black-eyed Susans. I'm not getting rid of my rosemary. Obviously, there's a lot of it that still looks good, but I had to take out a big chunk, and so where that chunk was taken out, I will just replace it with some butterfly bush and black-eyed Susans. So we're gonna pop into Lowe's briefly and try to look for things really budget-friendly and see what we can do today. So come with me. I always rather love these little spring trips to the hardware store. It's so fun to see what they have in stock, and it really gets me in the mood for the season of planting. Today, however, there were no butterfly bushes or black-eyed Susans to be found in the whole store. So I opted instead for these lovely little ferns, which were on offer 2 for $20, a small boxwood to replace the one that died, and an apple tree to also replace one that died this year. Overall, I feel really happy with some of the goodies I was able to buy. Next, I would just love to share with you a poem that is from the book The Nature Notes of an Edwardian Lady by Edith Holden. This is a book that we use for homeschool, and it's been such a blessing to our morning times, as it thoughtfully helps to unfold each month through beautiful poetry and nature notes. So this poem is by Robert Herrick, and it's called To Daffodils. Fair daffodils we weep to see, you haste away so soon. As yet the early rising sun has not attained his noon. Stay, stay, until the hasting day has run, but to the evensong, and having prayed together we will go with you along. We have short time to stay as you, we have as short a spring, as quick a growth to meet decay as you or anything. We die as your hours do and dry away, like to the summer's rain, or as the pearls of morning's dew, ne'er to be found again. And I find that poem to be so apt, because as quickly as the daffodils rise and make beauty for the spring months, their days are over. It's such a fast, enjoyable season. I love these little flowers so much, but I find the season too short. And so I heartily agree with Robert Herrick here that we're here for a short time, like the lovely daffodil. And while we're here, we ought to be delighting in the days that God gives us and working to cultivate beauty all around us. And finally, I will leave you with a brief quote from a book I'm reading called In This House of Bread. And the quote goes like this: "The getting up and staying up, the continual interruption to ordinary work, singing no matter how one feels day after day, Nuns have no holidays. And what made me laugh when I read this quote is it made me think of motherhood and wifery and homemaking. We really don't have holidays either. Our work is always needed. Yes, it is a duty, but it can also be a delight. And so with that, my friends, I say thank you so much for coming back to the channel today. And I look forward very much to seeing you in another brand new one very soon. May God bless you and yours. Goodbye for now.